Welcome back to Man of the House. I'm Spence. Today we're making the world's easiest ribs. These will also be low carb, keto friendly. We're doing it in the oven. Why? Because it's January, there's snow outside, and I'm not doing that in the smoker in January. They may be simple, but these ribs will impress your friends and family. And the best part, we're not using toxic aluminum foil. None. Let's talk rub. Today I'm using Rib Rack sugar-free barbecue rub. We're gonna make things easy. This is the world's easiest ribs, and what could be easier than buying the seasoning, buying the rub that you already need? Yeah, you could make some, and it would be good. But this is also good, and it's got all the stuff you would use to make it. So why not just use this? It's easy. I got this at Kroger, but I also found it on Amazon for less. Links in the description. We're also gonna use G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce, the original, because I like the flavor. We're also gonna need some liquid smoke, some Frank's Red Hot. And at this point, we need to take the lids off of all of them while our hands are still clean, because we're about to start touching ribs. So I have these baby back ribs and they need to be cleaned up. I gotta get the silver skin off the back, and it's got a few extra bits of fat and just needs some light trimming, and then we'll be ready to go. To get this silver skin off there, we're gonna use a butter knife, and we're just gonna try and find a place next to the bone to kind of work our butter knife underneath, kind of create a space. Wiggle your finger underneath it. And then, just like this, we pull, and it comes off. I'm gonna get my finger up underneath that, and work it all the way to the other side, and then just lift. And it comes right out. Now that we've got the ribs trimmed and the silver skin removed, it's time to season. And to season, the first thing we're gonna do is a little bit of liquid smoke. Not too much, this stuff goes a long way. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on there and move it around with our hands. This kind of gets that smoky flavor that we're missing from the grill. We're gonna do both sides, so I'm gonna flip. And my other hand is clean, even though I have a glove on it, it's clean. So I've got a seasoned hand and a bottle hand. Now for the Frank's Original Red Hot. It's gonna have a nice thin layer over the ribs, and it's not hot, actually. It's hot right out of the bottle, and it's hot if you make buffalo wing sauce. But when you cook with it, it mellows out, and it doesn't have that spicy kick. It just has a really wonderful flavor. But it also has vinegar in it. And the vinegar is gonna help tenderize this meat a little bit. And you can see, I'm not just going to town with the Frank's. It's just a nice thin layer right over the top of vinegar and cayenne pepper sauce. And we're gonna do both sides, and this is gonna help the seasoning stick to the ribs. Just gives the seasoning something to stick to, but also adds a ton of wonderful flavor. I love cayenne pepper sauce. I love Frank's specifically. Now on to the Rib Rack seasoning. It's sugar-free, so it's gonna be keto friendly. Could be carnivore friendly, depending on what your philosophy on carnivore is, but we're just gonna get a nice layer of this all over both sides, starting with the bottom. Because we've got the Frank's and the liquid smoke on there, this has something to grab onto and make it stick. And if you didn't want to use Frank's, you could use mustard or olive oil. You don't have to use Frank's. But the one thing that's missing from here is cayenne pepper. And now I've added it. Then we're gonna flip it, get the other side. All right, pat that on. And that's good. You see, this hand's clean, this hand not clean. You can use a grill or an oven. I'm using an oven because it's cold. Preheat your oven to 275. For this next step, I have to start by letting you know that aluminum foil is toxic. It's not good for you. Don't use it. If it comes into contact with your hot food, it's leaching aluminum particles into your food. If you cook with things that are salty, acidic, or meat, it increases the rate at which it leaches toxic aluminum into your food. It looks safe because it's been around our whole life, but it isn't. It's increasing your levels of aluminum contamination, which isn't good. Aluminum contamination is linked to a 71% increase in your likelihood for Alzheimer's disease. Why am I telling you this? Because this is the step where everyone else on YouTube is telling you to wrap your salty meat in aluminum foil, which is going to be increasing your risks for health problems down the road. Let's skip it. Let's do something better. They also say things like, we're wrapping it to help with steam. Don't do that. Do this instead. Look, there's all sorts of options that are stainless steel, that are cast iron, that are enamel. There's so many options that you can do to have steam, the benefits of steam, without wrapping your food in toxic aluminum foil. Today I'm using stainless steel. But that's because I've got 2 racks and this will fit 2 racks nicely on it. And it has a lid. And the lid keeps the steam in. There you go. You don't need foil, you just need a lid. Link for this steam pan is in the description. We're gonna place the meat, the ribs, into the steam pan on the rack, meat side up. There we go. You might be asking what I'm using these little cups for. That's just to keep the rack up. This rack isn't made for this pan, and so it doesn't quite fit all the way on the bottom, but if I put it on these little cups, it's at the right height that the rack will fit, and the ribs will fit, and the lid will fit. This steam pan is completely safe with no toxic non-stick or silicone grips with a heat limit that is usually about 420 degrees. I've seen a popular YouTube video with over 1 million views where a guy sticks a non-stick cookie sheet with a silicone handle into the oven set for 450 degrees. I have concerns. Most stainless steel pots and pans can withstand temperatures of 500 to 600 degrees. However, some stainless steel cookware can withstand higher temperatures like 800 degrees. It's still easy to clean because it's stainless steel, and the lid will keep the moisture in as they cook so they can steam. It's time to bake in the oven for about 2.5 to 3 hours. The low temperature will allow the meat to become incredibly tender. Cooking ribs is all about patience. The longer they cook at low heat, the more tender they will be. Easy peasy. Okay, the ribs have been cooking for about 3 hours and they smell incredible. It's time to take them out. Now I'm gonna set the oven for 350 degrees. Let's see how we're looking. Oh yeah, those look great. Those are looking really good. They smell amazing. As you can see, they're plenty moist from the steam. I was able to keep the steam in, and these ribs are looking amazing. Look at that. I wish you could smell it. I'm in heaven. Now we're gonna brush it with the barbecue sauce. I'm gonna put the barbecue sauce all over these ribs and make sure we get a nice, even coat. Get this side too. Using a silicone brush, this is going to give it a nice glaze. Now we'll pop these back into the oven uncovered at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, almost there in that 15 minutes. Looking good, but I think it's going to take a little bit more time. Now we're gonna raise the heat up to 400 degrees and let that go for about 15 minutes. All right, a timer just went off. Let's check these ribs. Ooh, steamy. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so these are nice and tender. Temperature's reading right. These are looking good. These ribs are looking fantastic. They smell amazing. What we're going to do is we're going to let these rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we get to cut them and eat them. Yum. Now let's slice these up with a really sharp knife. I'm going to pick a spot right here in the middle for the first rib, and just coming right down between the bones, and then just like that. Look at this. Look at this bite. Oh, juices. Oh, it smells amazing. Oh, I can't wait to take a bite of this. Perfectly cooked and oh so tender. Now it's time for the best part, the taste test. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my God, I'm not even kidding. That is seriously the best rib I've ever had. Mmm. You've got to make these. There's hardly any barbecue sauce on them. Look how beautiful the color is. It's so juicy. It's got a good bite to it. The flavor is incredible. This is the best rib ever. And easy. Super easy. Your friends are going to be amazed by this. Your family's going to be amazed by this. You have to make this. Everyone's going to love it. I poured this bowl of barbecue sauce thinking I'd like to dip this. It's so good without it. It's just, everything is just right. It's perfect. Mm. Do it. This is the world's best, easiest ribs.
World's easiest ribs. World's easiest ribs.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Man of the House if you want to see more videos like this. And leave a comment letting me know how your ribs turned out or what you'd like to see us do next. The world's easiest ribs are going to be a hit at your next party, and they're perfect for your low-carb keto lifestyle. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next one. That was so good. I enjoyed every bite of it. Oh, world's easiest ribs. You gotta do it.
You got something on your face.
Where?
Yes.
Right here? What? Was it right here? You get it? Is it up here?
Ew.